Right, good evening. It's midweek. We've both got Zoom meetings this evening, so I want to have something quite quick for supper. And I haven't defrosted or anything, wasn't quite with it. So one of my go-to recipes when I'm in this sort of condition, one is a risotto, which we've already done. A Spanish omelette. I love a Spanish omelette. We both do. And the glorious thing about it is you can put in whatever you like. Now, my recipe will tell you what to put in it. For 2 people, half a pepper, half an onion. In my case, a quarter, because I've got these whacking great onions, these huge Spanish onions. So I've just used a quarter of an onion, even though Bob likes onion a lot. I didn't have any mushrooms because I used those for breakfast yesterday or for brunch yesterday. So I've used asparagus tips, and I had a bit of bacon left from our brunch yesterday, which I cooked and I've chopped up. So I've got some bacon to add to it. And that's the glory of a Spanish omelette. You can put in whatever you like. So I'm going to do my whizzy computery thing, and I'm going to change to another camera. Oh no, but before I do that, with it, we are having, which I discovered in Waitrose today, we are having, oh, actually, I will go to my other camera because you'll see it better. Hold on a moment. Ping. So, with my other camera, these are parsnips, carrots, and beetroot in a light batter, frozen, 25 minutes at 180 fan. And I just thought they would just add a little, there's potatoes in it, so I didn't want chips. I just thought they'd add another little dimension to it. So I've got my oven on, heating up at 180, and those are ready to go in. So what I have here is, what can you see? I've got my chopped asparagus tips, because that's what I happen to have in the fridge. There's my half a red pepper, there's my onion, bit of bacon left over, that's fine. And here are the potatoes chopped. Now, I've made this before. The idea of these sessions is that I make them so you don't have to make the mistakes I make. When I made them before, the potatoes stuck together. It was very difficult. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these in a colander and I'm going to rinse them well so that they were all stuck together. So when I got them out, I had piles of potatoes like that. It was hopeless. So, I mean, it tasted okay, but it wasn't ideal. So I'm going to do that now and give those a little bit of a rinse. When you're cooking something in the microwave, I'm going to talk to you while I'm doing that. When you're cooking something in the microwave, now I have said this before and will say it in other places. It depends where you come in on the course as to whether you've heard this before, and I just apologise if you have, but I'm going to say it all again. When you're cooking something in the microwave, you don't have to use cling film to cover it over. It's entirely, I mean, if you want to, you can, obviously. But what I tend to do is either put it in a Pyrex casserole with a lid, or if you're putting it in another sort of a container, you can put a plate over it. Not your best Wedgwood, ladies, but an old plate, you know, one of your kitchen ones, or in my case, one of my mum's old Pyrex plates, which are ideal for this. And that's what I use 9 times out of 10, particularly when I'm putting a bowl in. Today, I might cook some of these things in another dish, in which case I will use cling film, but I very rarely do because it's, you know, waste of the planet and la la la. So the other thing I've done today is I'm cooking in this dish, and I've lined it, guess what? Same as I'd line my baking tin with baking parchment, because whatever I do, it sticks. So I do that so it doesn't stick. So this is all ready, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the onion and the pepper and the mushrooms in a microwave dish, cover it, leaving a small area open, it says. Now I'm going to put a plate on it, and I'm not going to leave an area open because it doesn't fit tightly like cling film does. So it actually works really well if you just put it in a bowl or a dish or some sort of thing with a plate over, will work really well. And I'm going to put mine in this dish here. I'm going to put that all in there. All mixed up. My onion as well. I'm going to mix it up a bit once it's in there. and that's going to go in there to cook. And I'll show you my plate. Possibly seen it before. It's in the dishwasher. My plate, which is in the dishwasher. There it is, a very elderly Pyrex plate of my mother's. Oh, it's the wrong size one. Get the other one out. I've got a big one as well. So that goes on the top like that and into your microwave for 4 minutes. Okay, so you don't have to watch me do that. I'll put you on pause. So this is it out of the microwave, done its 4 minutes. And as you can see, the lovely thing with the microwave is nothing loses any colour. It's all as bright and as vibrant as you want it. Now, it does say frozen peas, which I've actually done, but I had a thought as I was on my way to the freezer to get them. Depending on the colour of your pepper, you might like to use sweet corn instead of peas, because that would just give a little pop of yellow. I've got peas out, so it's going to be green, I'm afraid. So I'm going to put these in this dish, ready to go in the oven. In a moment, well, in the microwave in a moment. We're going to put those all in there. I'm going to put those all in there, and then I'm going to use this same bowl that I've been using, because you don't want to make washing up for yourself, do you? Oh, then the paper slide now below. Right, they're all in there, ready and waiting, and I'm going to put the potatoes in here, which, as I say, I've given a really good rinse to. Spread them out as flat as you can so that they don't. In fact, I'm wondering whether they might be better chopped, but they'll cook quicker in slices, I suppose. Maybe I should have chopped them because they do tend to stick together. But let's try it this way. I haven't done it this way, but we'll try it. So we're going to pop those in the microwave with a lid or a cling film and cook it on high for 6 minutes. Then at 6 minutes, you'll stand it for 2 minutes and then check them and see if they're done. If not, they need to go back in. The lovely thing about microwaves, you can just keep popping things back in, as I have told you before. Aren't I boring? Sorry. Here's my potatoes that I've taken out of the microwave after their 6 minutes, and they've been standing for 2 minutes. They're not quite done. I've just tested one, and I think I want them just done a little bit more because I don't want hard potatoes in my final finished product. So they're going back in for 1 minute. In the meantime, I've also put the peas in a sieve, because there's only a very few for 2 of us, and poured boiling water over just to soften those. So they're going to be added into our vegetable mix. And as I say, they look pretty because they're green, but I wish I'd used sweet corn, because I think a bit of yellow wouldn't have gone amiss. But there we are. I don't think I was too bothered about colours. They'll taste okay. So 1 more minute. I've also measured out my cheese, and I've got my mustard in there, my whole grain mustard, and I'm going to add, if you haven't met Jay's Northamptonshire sauce, not that they need any any advertising from me, but if you haven't met it yet, it's Worcester sauce with a kick, and it's absolutely delicious, and it's available from Jay's in the village, and it's lovely. I would recommend it. We stick it in and on anything. It just adds a little bit of piquancy. A bit flash with the odd word here, a bit piquancy to the dish, which we like. So have a think about putting that in. So these are going to go back in for 1 more minute. And in the meantime, we'll do the eggs. So hold on just a tick while I just get my... So while that's doing its last minute, I'm going to do the eggs. I'm going to beat them in here. I was just thinking, as I got my beater out, my balloon whisk, my son would say, "Oh, Mum, that's a balloon whisk. That's not an egg whisk." He's quite, you know, what can I say? He's younger than me, so he knows everything, needless to say. But I was thinking, my mother used to have, do you remember the whisks we used to use with the, my grandmother, with the handle on the side? Your arm dropped off before you got anything done. Anyway, so here we are beating these. So they're nice and frothy. Now, if you don't think your eggs are very large, mine come from my neighbour's little chickens, and I think I could possibly do with another little egg. The trouble is, I don't have a little egg. They're all sort of a bit medium-ish. A very small one. They're not quite big. But I think I'm going to stick another one in, because I don't think that's going to be quite enough. So I'm going to add another one. Go mad, add another egg. It does say large eggs, and they're certainly not particularly large. So there's my egg mixture ready. And my potatoes are just out here. And I meant to say, you do know why you're standing them for 2 minutes, I hope. When you take something out of a microwave, I hope you know this already, even before you met me nagging at you, things carry on cooking. When they've been in a microwave, they carry on cooking. So there's my potatoes, and now they are soft and they look cooked now. So that's fine. So they're going to carry on cooking, which is why you leave things to stand for a minute or whatever before you eat them, because they're still cooking away inside there. So what we're going to do is we're going to scatter the potatoes on here. And of course, they're going to be very hot, which is a bit of a problem. I'm going to put those in there, and you mix these all in together. That's over there. So you mix all your veggies together, and I'm going to use a spoon because it's really hot. I'm not going to dive my fingers in, but I'll burn myself. So you just mix those all in together. Comme ça. We've got a lovely veggie mix, and I've got a bit of bacon. You could put a bit of ham in. We could put nothing at all in. I mean, you can just make it vegetable. Beautiful meal if you've got a vegetarian coming for lunch. I mean, this makes a lovely lunch. One of the reasons I'm doing it, because I'm trying not to always give you something that's for dinner in the evening. This will be lovely for lunch. And not too much washed up. So then you pour this over your mixture. That. So excited about this. So there's your egg mixture on it. You're going to have no horrible frying pan to wash up at the end of it. And then you're going to sprinkle on top of that your cheese. Now, I have a confession to make here. I buy grated cheese, simply because if I buy lovely cheese, I eat it. And just for cooking, sometimes what I do is buy cheese that's on offer, you know, blocks of cheese. Sometimes, you know, Cathedral City, a big block is on offer, and then I grate it myself. But if there is none on offer, I buy a bag of grated cheese. It's very easy just to have a handful to sling into whatever, a cheese sauce or whatever you're making. So that's where I get this from. So having done that, you can see that beautifully, I hope. It's all ready to go in on full power for 2 minutes. Meanwhile, my vegetables are cooking away, and they've got about 5 minutes to go, so I might turn those down a bit. I think they're going to be ready. This is really good, this camera, because now look, I've got a nice clean tidy kitchen, and you can't see the chaos either side of me, which is great. This is how Nigella should do it. Someone did comment that I should buy a black silk dressing gown if I'm going to be Nigella, but like the other comments, I ignored it. What do they think of this? I said I'd put it on my Christmas list, but I don't think I'm quite the figure for it, do you? Right, so that's, I'm just putting all my veggies away that I've had out. And one of the things is, I'm going to show you, I've got some beans here. You could have put beans in it. You can put in it whatever's in the bottom of your fridge. Hence a couple of slices of ham that are looking a bit sad. Chop them up and stick them in. You can put anything in a Spanish omelette, which is why it's so lovely. And it's ideal for, I was going to say the night before you go shopping, but who goes shopping? The night before the shopping is delivered, or the day the shopping's being delivered at 8 o'clock and you're starving at 6, the Spanish omelette just fills the bill. And I'm very lucky that I have 2 neighbours who have hens, and I get lots of lovely fresh eggs, which is ideal. I've always got, well, nearly always. I mean, sometimes they stop laying and it's not so good, but there's always someone, you know, you nearly always find someone in the village who says, oh, what's eggs? And off you go. £2 a dozen, the same as in the shop. That's my onion that I didn't cook, going back in the freezer, ready for another time. We've got 7 seconds to go. The rest of my asparagus kits away in the box. what you're going to do is stir, really, just as if you're cooking normally in a pan. Once again, turn your smelly vision. You stir the outside to the inside, you stir it up and make sure it's all cooked. Now, I like my eggs really runny. Bob likes his eggs really hard. This is a bit of a to make pancakes, but you stir it around as much as you need to. The very middle will not be cooked. So just like in an omelette that you're cooking on the pan, you bring the outside to the inside and stir it around. That's what you've got to do, and that will make sure that it's cooked all the way through. And I think you know, people are nervous about undercooked eggs. I love my eggs undercooked. Scrambled egg I like really sloshy, and Bob likes to slice it with a knife, which I think is just wrong. Anyway, I'll stir that in, and that's going to pop back in for, well, you just keep repeating until you think it's completely done. So I'm going to give it another 2 minutes. It says cut into wedges. Let me go back to here. Let me go back to here so I can see you. So you can see me as if you want to. It says cut into wedges and serve it with a tomato salad and crusty bread. As I say, when I did it before, there was no cutting it into wedges. It just all fell apart. So I'm hoping that by putting the paper underneath, I'm going to get a more solid effort at it. I think I've probably sort of squashed it down a bit. I'm going to get it out and squash it down a bit. I think it does say to push it down, so I'll push it down. You can't see me now. I'm going to push it down so that it all fits into that eggy mixture. Oh, it smells absolutely delicious. 2 minutes like that, and then, I'm sorry, I'm whizzing between cameras just really to show off. Here's my lovely veg, which is done in the oven. It's equally smell delicious. So I've got another 3 vegetables in there. And you could, of course, grate or very finely put any of these vegetables in the Spanish omelette. You would have to blanch them first, as we don't want to cook them first. We've done with the potatoes. But they're what we're going to have with it, which I think we've done. So they're done. I'm going to turn the oven off. There's about 1 minute to go, by which time my omelette should be done. Plates out the oven. I'm going to put plates in the oven just for warm. Call Bob, the supper's ready, Bob. That's the time of the vegetables. We'll have plates. We've got 1 minute to go before we see the final item. If anyone's tried the shop at not Riverside, on the embankment, it's one of those where you serve yourself with things, so you don't have to keep having plastic things. It really irritates me. I mean, we go to White's usually for our fruit and veg, mostly, and it comes in good old-fashioned brown paper bags, but still some things come in plastic on a black tray that won't recycle, with cling film on the top which won't recycle. It does annoy me. I don't know why we can't. In fact, a friend of mine went into Waitrose and she said she stood looking around and everything she saw, this is a while ago now, was wrapped, you know, and double wrapped. And she said, I went home and I went to White's and I took my basket in and they put my fruit and veg in, and that's what we do, we take a bag in. And mostly they put it in, but then there are, this is from White's, and then there's these things which have come from Nairobi, I suppose I shouldn't call them. Yeah, it still irritates me how much plastic there is everywhere. And Sainsbury's, who won't give you a bag, you have to buy a bag, 90% of their stuff is still all wrapped in some form of plastic. Sorry, it's not around. Okay, here is our finished item. I think it's probably done enough to before we finish. You can do it again if you want, but I think it's okay. I think it looks yummy. I hope you think it looks yummy. I'm going to get our plates out and I'm going to attempt to set it up. You mustn't laugh if it all goes horribly pear-shaped. One plate for Bob. One plate for me. I hope he's laid the table. He's looking shifty. I don't think he has. These vegetables. You notice, of course, what have I got on my tin? But baking parchment. What I do everything with baking parchment. So I'm putting the cutlery and put on the table. And then, of course, my fish slice is in the dishwasher, which would be the most convenient thing to use. I'll take it out. See if I can cut this into wedges. I doubt it. So be warned. It's not going to. Oh, it has. It's because I've got the paper underneath. There's one wedge. And there's a second wedge because we're going to have half each. And yes, paper underneath works perfectly. You can see the paper's still there, but it's come out, which it so didn't before. So baking parchment is the way forward. You heard it here first. So there is a Spanish omelette, ideal for lunch, perfect for supper, quick, easy, and using up just whatever you've got. So do have a go and enjoy. Let me just say goodbye to you on a different video camera. These video cameras. So there we are. That's our supper. I hope you liked seeing it and enjoyed. Did you see it served up? I'm not sure if you did. I'm going to whiz back. I'm just showing off now. I'm going to whiz back. Hold on a moment. I'm going to whiz back. There I'm whizzing back. There is the finished article. I think it's going to be gorgeous. So enjoy, girls.